But I want to welcome everybody to my channel, The Candy Shop. I am so excited. The Candy Shop. So this is my story time, The Candy Shop. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Candy Shop. I hope you guys can hear me. This is He Say, She Say. I'm going to allow my guest in, but can y'all hear me? Am I freezing?
A little bit.
You froze just a tad.
Okay. So go ahead and introduce yourselves. We'll start with the guy next to me.
I'm Lamb. I'm not sure what his mic came from. I'm Lamb. You know me from TFG TV, the Real Estate Insider, Lamb Levity. I'm very happy to be here. That's all I got.
Awesome. No, I'm joking. Next, the lady down at the bottom.
Hey, you guys, this is Popcorn from All Things Popcorn, but the popcorn's in the chat, but the popcorn's in the chat.
Hey.
Hey. All right.
Hey everybody, it's Q, aka Red Label from Red Label's Confessions and Reactions. We are up in the building at the candy shop tonight. What it do?
Yes, what to do? I'm ready to get into this He Say, She Say, but before we do that, we have to do some housekeeping. So first of all, shout out to my mod, Shy Town Naja Girl. She says, welcome everyone to tonight's hot topic at the Candy Shop. Candy is your host, and she will be joined by her guest panelists. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and that notification bell. Also, she says, please welcome All Things Popcorn, Lamb Levity, and Red Label Confessions and Conversations.
That's a deal with. Add investigations to that too, Shay.
Yes.
Investigations.
Yes. Good evening, Kenny. Good to see you. Hey, Jam. Good to see you as well. Hey, Cotty B.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Sharon. Dropping the candy and popcorn in the chat. Hey, Rose. Good to see you as well. So we are going to get into it.
Yes. Right. I will not be looking at the chat. I will be focusing on.
Oh, yeah.
Not be looking at the chat.
Yeah.
It's so funny, Q.
So, if you know what I know,
oh,
you
Lord.
can be distracted.
Oh, goodness. Here we go. I'll drink to that. But why don't we get started on the topic? So tonight we're about to talk about this, what everybody's talking about, Chris Rock, Will Smith, Oscar debacle. So I don't know who wants to start us off. I'll just start it off. So we all know that Chris Rock made to me in poor taste joke about Jada, saying that she looked like G.I. Jane. Will chuckled a little bit and then thought to himself, you know what? Let me go up there and slap that ninja. So he went up there, he slapped Chris Rock, and it was history from there. So what are y'all thoughts on the whole situation? I just froze again, didn't I? Okay. What are y'all thoughts on the situation, starting with Popcorn?
Ladies first.
Hey, you guys. So you know what? Just so you know, Philly people don't like people in Philly business. But since we're going to talk about it, I like to say that my responses and my point of view is going to be wholeheartedly my point of view, not for shock value, not to be unpopular, not to be popular. These are my real thoughts about the situation. All right. So for one, I would have wished that he would have exercised a little bit more, decorum about not smacking him. But hey, he did what he did. And it was really Philly to me, A lot of times, I'm not going to say, I don't think that it's a good idea to, I don't think, it's good to go to violence first and then talk about it later. But as humans, it is what it is. And there are oftentimes when someone says something, this specific instances, because you said, Candy, that, he laughed and then after a while he looked at it because, you be in a vibe, you be like, ha, 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 ha. And then you look into someone that you love or care about and they don't like it. Then you go into protection mode, in my opinion. And that's what I felt like he did. Was it a good place to do that? No. But like I say, I always say, sometimes we cannot please adults. We can't really police people's feelings or how they're going to react to something, especially when it comes to their loved ones. We're quick to say, keep my name out your mouth when you don't really, when you're not really feeling somebody. And we don't know what that relationship was led up to there because we don't know the behind the scenes about it. Because one thing people can say, like, oh, I thought they was cool. No, because I don't blast or I don't drag people, out in public. We do have some issues with each other. I'm going to laugh and I'm going to go and key because we are in a certain specific space. So therefore, probably he was like, hey. And then when he looked at his loved one and didn't like it, then it was like, all right, it hurt her. And I'm gonna go like that. Just like for me, my father, I think my father would have did the same thing. I don't know if he probably would have got on it. He probably did. But my dad was a protector. My spouse was a protector. My uncles are protectors. So a lot of times, and my son is a protector. And a lot of times in spaces where we see that our loved one is hurt, we react first and then we think about it later. And that's just the human nature of it. And I mean, his ass got smacked. That's all to it. Just got smacked.
All right.
If my man don't Will Smith somebody else, I don't want to be with him.
All right. Go ahead, Lamar.
So you want an aggressive, abusive, potential jailhouse man? That's what it sounds like.
No, that's not what I said.
I think that a man that can't compose himself in situations is a problem. I think that you know the stage that you're on. You're on national TV, and you elected to embarrass this gentleman on national TV. And it's not even because he was offended. He wasn't offended because he laughed. Because his wife was offended. A smarter person would wait and go backstage and talk to this gentleman who he's talked to a lot. Because they may not be friends, but they interact. They're in a lot of pictures together. They do a lot of stuff together. So I think it was in poor taste. I think it was bad judgment. I think he's going through something. I think that him and this gal having some issues. She has really made him look like an idiot over the past couple of years, not being able to keep her mouth and perhaps her legs closed, allegedly. Of course, I'm talking about the whole Alcina situation. So I think it was horrible. And I think he needs to get the Oscar taken away and not be invited back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, you have a very unpopular opinion.
Oh no, I don't think his opinion is popular. I mean, there's a lot of people that feels that way about him. But let me be very clear what I said.
oppose that completely wholeheartedly.
Let me be very clear because I don't agree with Lamb, and I don't agree that he automatically put, because of what I said happened, that I want someone abusive. I think that's taking things a little bit too far. Not everybody react and choose decorum. I said that. I specifically out of my mouth said that he could have exercised a little bit more decorum. However, when somebody is in protection mode, it's like, and we can put it to a side if it's the two guys, Candace and I. When it comes to our children and our loved one, they call us mama bear because we are automatically protect. Doesn't make us abusive parents, doesn't make us abusive, women or spouses or partners. It's just that sometimes people act out of bad judgment. And I think that was bad judgment, but he did what he did. And I'm not going to end. And you know what? And the Pilgrims have done worse.
The who have done worse?
The Pilgrims.
What the whites got to do with Will Smith?
Because that's the space that we were in.
I want to hear Q's perspective, and then I'm gonna give mine, and then we'll discuss all of them. So go ahead, or Red Label.
Okay, so that whole situation, I think there are some missing pieces that we are not privy to. I think there is some built-up tension between all of them. I think on top of that, with the night, I think Will was extra stressed, saying that he was nominated. So put the stress on top of that, and then put their issues at home or whatever problems they have on top of that, and then having Chris Rock in your face again talking about your family yet again at another award ceremony. And we know that that joke was not approved because it wasn't ran by the Academy during rehearsal. So it seems like he was targeting Will and Jada again, according to the Washington Post. So I think adding the pressure on that, and then I mean, Will is the meme of 2021, 22, 2020. Like all this pressure is on this man, and I feel as though um that pressure and then what the internet is saying and the disrespect about him and his career, I think it took a toll. And then that was just the icing on the cake, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And then he just snapped and went up and hit him, deservingly so, because if we've already had conflict and dialogue about not talking about my family nor my wife, and yet here you are with an unapproved joke with the Academy Awards in front of everyone, it's a lot. But do I think he deserves to have his? Do I think he deserved to have his Oscar taken away? No, because that movie was too good. He acted his ass off. But they took a small fragment in time and based the whole Oscars on that situation. And it's gonna be Oscars so white for 2023.
All right. So I put up a post on my community page about my thoughts, my sentiments of what my classmate mentioned. So I know a lot of women have talked about protection. To me, in that moment, I didn't feel like he was necessarily trying to protect his wife. If anything, it came off as ego. But when you say things like that, though, like what Chris Rock said, which, like Q said, it was unapproved, you have to be ready for those consequences. So I do believe, to me, they were both wrong. Will overreacted, but maybe he had reached his breaking point. We'll never know what his motives were. But had it have been my husband doing something like that, I would have wanted him to address him backstage. And that's just me. Who knows how Jada felt, the ladies of the movie felt. I just hate that moment took away from the big picture of the movie him winning the Best Actor award and then all of the accolades that the movie received. So I hated that. Also, it's just funny to me that people are being so critical of his moves and all of that, and it needs to be taken away. But in my post on the community page, who was that? Woody Allen. He just recently, like they just recently started having issues with him, and we all know Woody Allen is very problematic. So
Harvey Weinstein,
Harvey Weinstein, all these other people, but yet we're holding Will to this way high standard. Yeah, Bill Cosby as well. But with Oscar wise, these people have impacts on the Oscars. So it's just funny to me. I'm tired of talking about it, but we're gonna lay it all out here on the line. So I don't know, Popcorn, if you want to go first. I may come out and come back in because my internet is acting weird, but y'all can whoever wants to tackle it first, because we're gonna get deep into this.
I want to substitute my word abusive for violent. That's the word I was searching for. Violent versus abusive. A violent man. Okay. All right, Popcorn.
Let's get popping. You're muted.
Oh yeah, sorry. I didn't want to make noises while you were speaking. Another thing is that I also want to reiterate about I specifically didn't read anybody's comments or sentiments or anything about it, because my viewpoint is my viewpoint, and I wanted to be able to listen and hear out my panelists from their perspectives, from their own perspectives about them. And when I did see a few posts, and I discussed it a little bit with family or whatever like that, about protecting his wife, maybe in that instance, that's how he felt like he was doing. And we're looking on the outside and like, no, that's not how you protect it. But this is where we have conversations with whom we with as a community or as a person about how do you feel protected. And to him, maybe that's how Jada will be able to feel protected. For me, protection is not always it's not all kumbaya all the time. Protecting someone is not always as they quote unquote say, civilized. So, especially when your first initial reaction. And yes, am I tired of talking about it? I haven't talked about it enough, but I have. But I laughed, and I did have some, some feelings about it, and I didn't talk about it in certain specific spaces. I keep I'm talking about it with my panelists because there's specific space that I'm willing to talk about it. But others that came and chimed in with me was like, "Hey T, what do you think about that?" And and I was like, "It is what it is. It's very Philadelphia. It's very West Philly." But here I can do have an open discussion amongst my peers, and and say, "Hey, this is how I feel about it." And specifically, like I said, I don't think it was right, but in an instance, a lot of us as humans or have a partner have tends to have gone out their way where we say, damn, I wish you have done a little bit better. I wish you have handled it a little bit better. And a lot of times we don't handle things, and it's a learning and teachable moment for them. Another thing that I did see just a little bit coasting out, and I'm gonna just wrap this up, is about like him in the August Alsina situation. If you have seen the whole thing from August Alsina conversation to Jada and Will's conversation, August specifically said he talked to Will about it. Will knew what was going on. He had a conversation. So whatever was going on in their household with the August Alsina situation, that's why Will wasn't like really blindsided. It was probably how Jada and August Alsina and handled that situation. So it wasn't like he was blindsided about what was going on. And what goes on their household, if that's what they into, that's those consenting adults' business. And that's where I'm gonna leave it at that. But once again, I don't condone violence, but sometimes somebody needs to smack once in a while. I'm just saying.
I just think we got to figure out what we want as Black folks. What type of image we want. We get pissed off when we have negative images in movies of us being jackasses and doing crazy stuff, but we make excuses for it in real life, and I'm confused about it. I think we have to have a high standard for ourselves and how to have decorum, not be animals and feed into the stereotypes, and be able to rationally think about things and handle them in a better way than we do.
Well,
I
why did
think
you said animals, right? You comparing people behavior, human behavior to animals, where animals don't really, they react usually out of survival mode, whereas humans, we have real feelings. Rather, we need to give, and yes, we do as adults, we do need to check our feelings, but that's where the difference where us not being animals and being humans. And animals are more instinctive, whereas humans we do have the capability of trying to, you know, uh, you know, check our feelings, like I said before. And I don't like when we say us acting like animals because we never really started coining that tone of us acting like animals. The Pilgrims did.
And yeah, we don't use that when the pilgrims are going at it in public spaces. We never use the term or the word animals when they are fighting on TV and on spaces. So that I reject. I also think that Will and Jada have a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes. This man has had a spotless reputation for over 30 years in Hollywood, known as one of the nicest people in Hollywood. Always giving, always open, will talk to anyone. So I think there's amount of pressure within their household, and it just boiled over at that moment. He snapped. According, I mean, what it looked like, but I also think there was something else going on. Really, um, the ratings have been the highest they've ever been because of the situation. Uh, Chris Rock's tickets have gone up. Wasn't nobody checking for Chris? Will is getting all these talks and deals of people who wanted to talk to him about the situation, amongst other things. But we're not talking about that. I secretly think it was a money move for them and everybody involved. Um, I mean, if you were approaching me because I said something to offend you and your wife, I'm not gonna stand there and have my hands behind my back waiting for something to happen, like I'm waiting for something to happen. But that's also me too. But I'm not gonna be a conspiracy theorist right now. But it just looked a little off to me.
Were you about to go, Candace?
No, because my computer froze. But go ahead.
I like to add that, I mean, I saw people in the chat talking about what white folks think. I'm not worrying about the views of white folks. I'm about the views of ourselves towards each other and what our kids that we're trying to bring into a better life and show a better way and be an example for. I'm worrying about them. I don't give a crap what the whites think. I'm talking about blacks. so that's a little disconstrued. So I kind of agree with you, Q, a little bit about I thought for a second that maybe it was like something they came up with together, but I understand why he had a hand behind his back, because who thinks that Will Smith of all folks is gonna come up and slap the taste out your mouth on national television? Nobody. He probably thought he was gonna come up and talk some noise or say a joke or do something weird. Nobody's gonna think you're gonna slap the fire at your ass on TV.
Hey, but Beyonce had the best album of the whatever Kanye said.
Oh, yeah. They should have let.
You're muted, Popcorn. You're muted.
Hey, I'm gonna let you talk. Hold on, I'm gonna let you finish. Q. But Beyonce had the best performance of the Oscars of all times. Okay, looking like a beautiful tennis ball. Okay,
which ain't nobody talking about because they're too busy focused on the slap.
Let me answer. Let me answer cocktails before y'all continue. So I guess in the last 15 minutes of the show, we can drop the link. Are y'all okay with that? Dropping the link and letting people up to speak. Y'all okay? All right.
It's your show.
So we'll
show house.
This is a collective. So yeah, we'll drop the link in probably about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll drop it.
Right.
Cool.
Always be prepared. Well, yeah, that's true. But sometimes you don't always. I mean, well, yeah, you do always gotta be prepared. No matter what space you in. Just like me, I moved from West Philly up into the burbs, as you speak, but I still use those same sentiments that I make sure that I know what my surroundings is. I keep my door locked, just because I'm in a different space.
Yeah,
I'm always still prepared. But like, I do agree that not always protection is violent or being aggressive, quote unquote. But however, sometimes that may play out in that way, and it may not be the best way. But as humans, just like I said, you go into mama bear mood, or this is my spouse, or this is my kids, this is my sister, and in those space, I do think they should mark it off at the best way they possibly can. And Chris Rock he's going to have his best tour ever in the last 10 years right now.
Thanks to Will.
Yes, let's talk about
material.
And he has to explain this to his kids why he got the
So, and I want to talk about all of that too, but I want to also talk about, I have phone calls from my mother, my aunt, saying how they were embarrassed. He embarrassed the black race. So I didn't attach any color to it. I did have secondhand embarrassment for both of them because it just looked crazy. Will coming up there slapping him reminded me of Little Mama getting up there on the stage with Jay-Z and Alicia Keys during their performance. It just, like, everything needs to be done in order. So it just looked so out of order when I first saw it, because I watched it live. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Right. And it just looked crazy. And I was secondhand embarrassed for both of them, not because of them being two black men, but it just looked like a hot mess. I'm calling it like I see it.
I was embarrassed for both of them too. The whole white thing is out the window. I was embarrassed for Chris because he got to explain this to his kids and say why he didn't do nothing, why people gonna be talking about him saying he was a punk and all this kind of stuff. People saying it already, but he did something that a lot of us can't do. He ate it. He ate it, and he was professional, and he moved on. A lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't. I would have clubbed him in the back of the head when he turned around. I was embarrassed for Will because he was acting out of impulse, thinking he's protecting his wife, but he's regretting.
Not while his back was turned. You was going to hit him.
Absolutely, I wouldn't give a damn.
Not the violence. You couldn't do it to his face. You had to wait for him to turn his back.
Absolutely, and then I do it in his face. You hit me, I'm hitting you. Listen, now I was embarrassed with Will because I don't think he was in his right frame of mind. I think he really went into protection mode, perhaps, and I think he's regretting it today because now the whole image of him has been kind of skewed a little bit. A lot of people are speaking out about it and don't like it.
I still think there's some sort of undercurrent that we are not seeing personally.
Me too. Because not everything is always said. Just like anybody household, just like you you like on Instagram or social media, things can look a different way, but then behind closed door, everything is a facade. And they are actors. What's wrong?
The fact that he was able to go up there and he could accost Chris Rock. He went after he accosted him. He had a slight little smirk. He did his little pimp stroll back to his seat. No security, no nothing. 35 minutes later, he gets his award. He gets a standing ovation. It just seemed very odd to me that there was no security to be like, okay, sir, we'll let Jada accept your award for you, but you need to be escorted out of the building. You can go backstage and hang out, go to the VIP area. But it went on to business as usual, like nothing happened.
I think Whoopi tried to allude to a little because isn't she on like the board of something? Isn't she part of the?
Yes,
yeah. She's a governor on the Academy committee.
Can I just?
Go ahead.
I just want to shout out Marva CB. Thank you for the super chats, cash apps. They're all welcome. Panel, if you want to drop your cash apps in the chat, feel free to do so as well, or you can. It should let y'all do it.
And Marva started it with $4.99. I just feel nines for some reason in my spirit.
Yes, come through with the $9.99. Yes. $9.99. Yes, hit the cash app. Hit the super chat. Hey, $9.99.
Whoopi tried to allude to it a little bit without saying too much. I'm not sure she's able to say too much, but she said that it was kind of Packer's decision to try to just wait. She said that everything was under control after he hit him and went back to the seat. They already had everything kind of under control, and they decided not to send anybody out, but they weren't going to let anybody get back on that stage or let Will go back on that stage. So they purposely, Will wanted to keep going, wanted to kind of keep the flow going, which I get, but he should have been arrested. I think he should have been arrested. That's assault.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody would have did it if it was Mike Tyson. I'm looking at this comment.
Mike Tyson, if it was Dave Chappelle, he wouldn't have did it, I don't think.
Do y'all think Dave Chappelle would have said something that distasteful? You think so?
No.
Dave Chappelle to me has a little bit more class than Chris Rock.
He talks about other. He don't really talk about people. That's why he never said Juicy's name. He said Juicy instead of his name.
What did he talk about? The transgenders?
Did he talk about a particular person or just that group of people?
He has stories about them. He talked about all of them. Against their will, and they don't want to be talked about. He's doing it anyway. When they in the audience, I think he would have. He maybe I think he would have though.
Right. And hi, Stephanie. It's good to see you. I think this is the first time I'm seeing you here. Thank you for joining.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining this discussion. So anyway,
I love it.
Nobody was checking for Chris Rock until after one of the 5 fingers stayed to the face.
And in me as a woman, and I'm glad that that they handle it the way they handle it, whether I agree with it or not. Chris ain't as mad anymore, and we're still talking about it. We're still saying how Will should be like this, and publicly, Chris is not mad anymore. Put it that way.
He ain't said nothing, has he?
No, he said they try to make a point. He said he want to press charges.
He made a statement that he apologized to Will and Jada that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I missed it, man. I didn't think he said nothing yet. I want to respond to somebody, Shannon, I think it was, that said Iyanla. I don't think nobody should talk to Iyanla because Iyanla is condoning violence too. she tweeted about it. She condoning violence. Call us up being a healer and all this, man.
No, she's weeping in the bushes.
She's weeping, beloved. Okay, beloved. Not right here, beloved.
And I think he should avoid a red table talk.
Yes.
Anyhow.
She like, not on my watch, beloved. Not on my watch. So I think we all have a consensus here that we're not condoning the violence. And I want to be very specific, but I'm not going, like I always said, you really can't police grown folks, especially like men, and sometimes they get into their caveman behavior or ego, just like Candace said, she felt like it was more ego. Well,
we all know that Chris is a tap dancing for the Pilgrims.
Can I ask this though? Even though he's a tap dancer, I am going to bring a little bit of blackness into it. His movie, Good Hair. So him doing that movie, he knows how we as Black women feel about our hair and our appearance and how we are like kind of disrespected because of it. And so to make a joke about her hair is very interesting to me. I'm gonna just say that. I don't know what his motive was. I do feel like it, whatever it is, was a lot deeper than what we see. We don't know how they are behind the scenes, but I found that very interesting. That he made a joke about her hair versus something else. He could have talked about the entanglement. Like that would have been funnier to me.
Right.
Right. Because they openly together talked about the entanglement. Okay. A few times.
But everybody jumped on old girl.
Who?
The one from Orange is the New Black, because she asked about the entanglement. Remember at the other.
I forgot the actress's name.
I forgot her name.
She's on the Orange is the New Black though.
Laverne Cox.
Yes, Laverne Cox.
Everybody jumped on top of Laverne Cox about asking about it.
So I don't know. Wait a minute. When did Laverne Cox, did someone of our community asked her about it?
Or she made a statement a few weeks ago, I believe, regarding.
I think because they don't have that issue with Chris, they let her get away with it. Because if you notice, when Regina Hall made the joke about the entanglement and letting Jada, she wants the entanglement by herself with Will, it was funny and they laughed it off. But they don't have that issue with her like they have with Chris, because Chris has been problematic.
Sometimes it's all about who's saying something to you too. If you notice that, like if you loathe somebody and they saying something, but you still, like I said, you're in spaces where you have to. They are actors, they are artists, so and they are in this public space. So you probably like,
right. I'm with Javier. Jada. I don't give a damn about no damn Jada and her hair either. I'm with you, Javier. I think that they mad at Chris Rock because of what he said in 2016 when Jada wanted people to boycott and wanted him to drop out of hosting the Oscars. Who does that? So that's why they mad at Chris Rock. Has no right for talking about someone. Everybody, all comedians do it. If Ricky Gervais was on there,
he was deplorable. And they talked about how horrible he was. But you're talking about the Pilgrim again. You're bringing up the Pilgrim.
I don't have a problem with Pilgrims. I don't have a problem with Pilgrims. People are people to me.
Right, but Ricky Gervais was deplorable. His jokes was horrible.
They were ugly jokes.
They were very ugly jokes. That's why that ass ain't all in on those spaces like it used to be.
So question, Lamar or Lamb Levity and Javier, is y'all issue with Jada the fact that she had an entanglement or something? Because Will cheated too. I'm not understanding the issue that y'all have with Jada Pickett.
I think she talked too much. You can't do all this talking and then have a problem with people talking about it. You choosing to make money off of your private business that's ridiculous and deplorable to a lot of us. And
August Alsina brought it out first, though.
Yes, with his interview with a song.
He was trying to push them album sales.
Yes, with a song first. And then he went on to allude to that. And then that interview with Angela Yee. Yes, he the one that brought it up. It was all.
I don't like her energy. I don't like her energy. I don't like the way she talks. I don't like what she talks about.
Who?
For my Jada. Not you. I'm talking about Jada Pinkett Smith.
No, I know you were talking about. I was trying to decide. I don't know if you were talking about Angela Yee or
I don't like Angela Yee either. And Yee, whatever her name is. I don't care for her either. I like the Breakfast Club though, but I just feel like she don't really add much to me.
Okay, so give me a woman that you do like that talk a lot.
I like Wendy Williams. She's nice. I don't have an issue with women. I have an issue.
No, I said a woman that talks a lot, because it seems like the ones that talk too much that you.
I like old girl on Fox Soul. What's her name? Little chick from
Claudia Jordan. Claudia Jordan.
She talk more than most.
She's a colorist.
She's a colorist, yeah. She don't like our darker hue sisters.
Yeah, I want me to name a dark one now. Let me find a dark one.
No. We were just letting you know.
We were just letting you know how. Yeah, Claudia is problematic. So that's
why she
don't take the bait. Don't take it.
No. I understand. Like if we took out that what we know about how she is with us, like she is good for TV and talking and everything like that. But when she's but she definitely is problematic when it comes to our darker hue sisters and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
How so? What did she say? Bad, negative things about Darky Hugh sisters?
All the time. She
But
alludes to
y'all
things
both light
all the
skinned
time
ladies,
from the,
right?
and I think, and a lot of times that's where she, a lot of times, because I think she was good for housewives, but her relationships with other people of our darker hue sisters, she really goes hard. And maybe I'm just saying that it's a trend a lot of times of our black sisters, our women of color who have Caucasian mothers. A lot of times,
Biracial folks, you talking about?
yeah, yeah, they have like a white mom that don't can navigate with, like the black woman or whatever like that tend to be.
I
And
could
I really,
I could see that. I could definitely see that. I could see where if you hear little rumblings when you got your mama white and you giving opinions about what my thing is. I feel like people that are biracial are the most pro-black for some reason. That's my thing. I think they always like Kaepernick and all. They always the most pro-black when they like
I think because
good point.
their upbringing dealing with people who and they trying to find identity because they don't fit in one and the whites don't accept them and then they go to the blacks and they feel more comfortable that way. So I think it's about identity and a sense of belonging when it comes to that because they're not equally accepted as their other half or by their other half from the clear community most of the
Mhm.
time.
And I do believe that there's a consistency. I think it's a consistency that a lot of the Caucasian mothers to black children don't have that conversation or let them know about some there are the challenges of it, of them being a woman of color. They hide behind like, oh, I love your dad, we love each other, we're human, and all that stuff. Where there is the conversations that don't always like to be had. But rather, but back to the topic though. Rather somebody say something that's funny that I don't think is funny. If it ain't funny, it ain't funny. Especially if they talking about me. I just segue back to what we was talking about. That's all.
To jump on.
Y'all,
Yeah, sorry.
go ahead,
And
Lamar.
what it's so funny because Chris Rock do insult a lot of people, and I tend to see like he's funny. I think he's a goat, but Chris Rock is very brash. He's very brash, and I feel like he reminds me of someone. And I'm not saying he does, but he reminds me of spaces where I work at someone that's on a spectrum, like Asperger's or something like that. Like highly intelligent, but lacks self awareness of other people's feelings because they don't care to know.
But there's a lot of celebrities that most of them be doing. I mean, not celebrities, but comedians that do that though, right? A lot of them do that. That's like kind of a thing. That's like a genre, if you will, a subgenre of comedian that are the go after you dozens type comedians that don't give a damn what you think about it. That's why I would never go to a comedy show again and sit in the front because somebody ate my ass. Bill Bellamy ate my ass up when I went. I'll never go again.
That's Joe Torre. He like, if you sit
That's
up front,
hilarious.
I'm gonna bust on your ass. Like,
So y'all ready to drop the link?
drop
Drop
that
Get
the
some,
link.
link.
Drop
get
that
some of
link.
these in here. All right, I'm dropping the link, everybody.
All right.
So feel free to
Well, oops. Well, she is frozen right now as we
okay.
continue to talk
Okay,
about
I'm
this
back.
conversation. Oh, there you go.
That link took you
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I don't know if this is Will and Chris Rock upset about us talking about them, but it's like I never freeze this bad. So
I know, it's probably the West Philly people channeling like, hey, Pop, why you letting people that's not from Philly talk about him? So stop, Pop, stop.
That's funny.
But I just think like how people was like taken back and surprised. Like we said, we don't know what the build up. Over the years we have seen Will act a certain way and compose himself, and now it's different. So, well, thank you, caller. Who is this?
all right. I think you have to turn down your computer in the back.
That's what I'm gonna do now.
Show
Can you
yourself.
hear us? This is
I can
Cox.
hear you. I can hear you. See you talking. Here
All
I
right.
am. How y'all doing
Hi.
today? I'm sorry, my hair all on my head. I was laying in the bed watching TV. I'm sorry. But I'm gonna tell you like this right here. I was watching the live.
Well, you from the
I was
country,
watching the
like me.
live when it happened, honey. And I'm gonna tell you, at first, baby, Will was laughing his tail off. He was sitting there laughing. What happened was when the camera went, they showed Jada face, and when the camera went back to Chris, I guess he must, Jada must looked over, and, said something to Will, because like I said at first, he was laughing. But I'm gonna tell you like that, and he wasn't like he ain't nothing like that, fake. Like he was really laughing, really getting into it. And I'm gonna tell you, it
Mm-hmm.
had nothing to do with it. Was just because to tell you the truth, the joke really didn't land in that good. It really didn't.
Right.
It didn't land that good.
Are any ever good though?
No, some of these jokes do good, be good. I ain't gonna say it right there. Hey, that's Shot Town.
He ain't no
Um,
Dave Chappelle. He ain't no
yeah.
Cat Williams.
And I'm gonna tell you like, and I'm
I
gonna tell
agree
you
with
like
you.
this right here. I don't care. Uh, to me, his apology was fake because he's kind of stay face now. Cause see, you let your woman. See, I'm talking like a couple years ago, you and your woman y'all talking about boycotting the Oscars. Cause your ass to get nominated. Now your ass got nominated. You went up there and showed your ass. Number one, you want to stand up there for you. You stand up to represent Richard Williams, father of one of the greatest, some of the greatest tennis players of our time.
Who's
Okay.
also
Number
problematic with a
two, and
second family.
And may I ask the caller, where are you from? What state?
yeah, so he was representing him,
Yes.
okay, and his family, okay. You talking about protecting talking about his family. Child, I don't want to hear that, okay. I don't hear none y'all got to say because you was dead wrong. You should have held her hand and said, baby, I will talk about Chris later on. Number one, our people been fighting to get up on that stage, to have that platform. Let they talent been shown for years. We've been fighting for that moment. And that moment, you know what, honey? I know what the white folks saying. I can't say that here come the ends with all this violence and craziness. Okay. And you like it or not, they is gonna chump that all into one person. Okay. You may not like the double standard. I don't like the double standard, but that is what it is in our society, okay? And I hate to be like that. And I don't think he kind of protect her. I think he just doing something because he doesn't want to do something. You got problems at home, just stay your ass at home, okay? Stay your ass at home, cause I don't like. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't like seeing my people out there acting a damn fool. I can't stand it. Okay, that kind of blackness ain't none of my kind of blackness. I can't work for hard working folks who went to work every darn day. Told me don't put your hand on no darn bad. Okay, keep your hand on people. I get tired of see these people out here putting their hands on people. Y'all gonna mess around, put your hand on wrong person. Yeah, it's gonna be 6 feet deep.
See, this
True.
is how this is how I look at that because coming from a black household and how it was taught generational because of that fear and lack of and thinking that everyone outside of that who are not black or superior, we got to get out of that mindset. We are all equal.
I know
We
that.
just
I feel the
just
same
because
way
somebody is
too.
doing something, we don't have
I
to put
feel the
racial.
same
We
way.
don't
I
have to
feel
put a
the
racial
same way
instance
too.
on it.
I
Just
feel
say
the
they do
same.
it all the damn time. Just because we do it, it doesn't make us apart from them.
Yeah,
They do it all the
I
damn time, but
understand.
yet
I,
when we
I
do it, it's a
understand that.
problem.
I understand. I give you that. But we got to come to realization of it, though. Okay, come. I'm not saying it's up fun all right, cause white folks got they family messed up too. Okay, they got secrets in their clouds too. They don't want to air out neither. Okay, but I'm just saying though, we've been fighting to get on top of that stage for years.
You're on mute
You're
I
again.
muted.
can hear you.
I'm sorry. And to chime into what you were saying that we were fighting to be on that stage for years. Um, just look at it this way: that King Richard was being honored, Will was being nominated, and Will Packer was producing it. So it was black. It was
Yeah.
hosted
This was
by
a
two
black
women.
night.
And it was
So there,
yeah.
I didn't interrupt you when you were speaking.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry,
that's all.
darling.
That's all right. Yeah, yeah. So, so there was another a reason for our spaces to be there, and I think Will Packer did an excellent job, and for them to be there to support them. Back when they were, when they were there across the board, there wasn't that many people on the board of the academy that were looking like us. We weren't producing it. Um, there were no writers behind it, so I can see why that they were there. But I feel like my daughter is a filmmaker. That's what she went to school for. That's what she had me working these jobs for. But one thing she started, I remember her saying like her goal was to was to get an Oscar. But as she started being in her own spaces and doing her own art, she was like, that's not what I aspire. I aspire because I don't want to, that's not my standard, because their standard is not good enough for me. If I'm being honored by mines, then that's good enough for me, and my art is being seen.
Yeah.
So she have got out of the natural that we need validation from the Oscar. Of course, we should fight for inclusion, but I'm here for our spaces only,
Yeah.
and I root for everybody black pretty much. So
We don't really want inclusion. That's the bad.
I know, right? That's why I don't be there.
We don't truly want inclusion. First of all, the whatever this is, they've had a black woman. Didn't they have a black woman at the helm of it at one point? I don't know if she still is. I forgot her Jacobs or some name. I forgot her name. And like you said, Will Packer, and that's a black filmmaker and writer myself.
And producer, right? He give us Ready to Love.
Yeah,
because
I think
I was happy
because it was going good. It was beautiful. They had decent D Nice up there. He was doing good. It was good, girl. I'm not playing. That's up to that moment. It was so good.
Real
I
quick,
think
real quick,
they
real
should
quick.
take that out of a quick. Go ahead.
Um, um,
The
Richard
man with the golden
Williams.
mic.
Real Richard Williams was not too happy about it either. Did y'all see his statement?
Did
Yeah,
he?
he did not
Didn't
support it.
he he was in his house because of his girlfriend because he got
He
all time?
announced,
Never mind.
he announced it.
Allegedly.
Stop you.
Like, I like your glasses too, girl. They getting
I'm a
out.
Hirsch. I'm a
Thank
Hirsch.
you.
Yeah. But no, that's all I had. I'm just saying, you make your wife make that decision up for you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I'm not gonna tell you no lie. When I thought I said we let him take his Oscar away from him. I said no, no, Lisa, that's not right because he did work hard for that. He did, and it is a good picture. He worked hard. He showed the talent and his art through it. And so, I mean, he deserved to get that Oscar. But
Mhm.
now, for me, all this fake apology, I'm not accepting it. Because you kind of say face. You make your woman talk you doing something you have no business doing.
We
Okay.
do it to our men all the time. So you mean to tell me? I mean, I don't know if you like men or
Shot down,
women,
don't you
but
dare.
No,
I
I
don't know if
talk
you
to my
like men
man
or
about
women or
what he
not.
wants to look. Because
But
I
this is
tell my
how much
man,
you,
keep your
you
tail
sit up there and
down.
be like, so you just going, like, did you know? Because we
Not
know
in the
shade.
public.
Us women know shade when we see it. Where some men just be like, what? I ain't see that. And sometimes you have to like tell them like, hey, that
No,
was a little
but
bit
it would feel.
derogatory.
I would feel different if he was not laughing. He was laughing his tail off. You
Right.
can see the
Could it
picture.
have been
I
a
promise
nervous
you. I
laughter
was
though?
right.
That's what I was gonna say. He kind of was just laughing like, hey, hey, because he knew the spite was going,
No,
hey, hey,
baby,
hey,
no,
hey,
it wasn't
hey.
that kind of laugh. It was not that
How
kind
do
of
you
laugh.
know? He
I was
told you.
watching it.
He told you.
I was
He
watching it
DM'd
when he
you.
was doing it.
He
He
did. He
was
must have DM'd you
laughing.
and told you, girl.
I, believe me, you go. I promise you, I was laughing there because I thought when he went up on stage, I thought what the slap was a fake.
Okay.
I
Okay.
really did. I thought that's something they had planned. And I said, what? That wasn't
You
fake.
know what? And another thing, just like if we fundamentally disagree, or I do something that was hurtful, or out of my character to cue Candace or Lamb, and then I and thought about it at first. I'm like, no, I said what I said, or I'm gonna double down on it 10 toes down. Then after people say, hey, Pop, that was really wrong, blah, 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 you hurt them. And then I issue an apology. Why do people automatically think it will probably be fake because I issue an apology? Maybe I sat down and was like, yo, I was really on some shit, but not at the time. I didn't think I was, and I offer an apology. Why can't we just accept what people say? Why automatically we
No,
all go to,
baby, he got
oh,
backlash. That was so much backlash
well, he
off
was
of
still
this.
partying at the parties. It wasn't like he
That's what
got
I'm talking
black
about. He
on
was
at the
partying
parties.
up like it never faded him. And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know what's
You know
going
why
on,
I
but
didn't fade at him? Because that man got $350 million in the bank. I'm gonna keep it moving.
yeah,
And another thing
well,
that,
that, well,
and another thing,
mess around his wife. He ain't gonna have no money in the bank.
they fine. Just like uh just like you said, he was laughing. And to him it may have been okay, or like Q said, it was a nervous laugh, or like I said, they are actors, and he was up front and he knew that the camera was going to be on him, and he probably was laughing and didn't, and looked at his wife and saw that it was hurtful to her, and then that's a switch went off. That's what I'm saying. Just because he was laughing, just because if somebody laughed at a joke that I felt like was distasteful to me, and then I say something to my peers like, yo, That wasn't funny. Wow. Oh, damn. I thought it was funny,
Well,
but
you
if
need
it
to
was
sit
hurtful
down
to
in your
them.
seat. You should have wait till the thing went off. Wait till he get his
Well, that's
stuff.
what we was talking
Then
about.
go
Like,
back.
you know,
Then
he
go back
didn't.
and go back in the
He was
back and talk to
impulsive.
him.
Yeah. He
You
didn't
know what I'm
wait.
saying? But he didn't do that though. He got up out his seat because what you should have told your woman said, "Babe, don't worry about it. I'm gonna hold her hand, and when we get through, when all this gets him, I'll talk to Chris later on. Okay? Now get up out your darn seat." And that what makes it
Maybe
different. I am so tired of people talking about John Wayne and Ben Wayne and all the other folks and stuff. Them
maybe
folks
he
did
should have
not.
messaged
John
Beyonce so
number
she can
one,
send her
John Wayne is
goons or
gone.
something. I
John
don't know.
Wayne is dead. Okay. Now John Wayne is dead. I can't do nothing. We can't do nothing about it. We talking about here and now in the 21st century. Okay. That happened on live TV. And yes, John Wayne did cross the stage with that native woman got up there for that Godfather man, for that Godfather act. I forget his name, Guadamando, whatever his name is. Uh, but he did. John Wayne did. What's to say? They scored his out. They scored him out in 1973. And so we talking about here and now in the 21st century. Okay. So they've been
So
almost
here,
like 49
so
years ago, almost 50 some years ago. So we
the,
talking about here and now. And so somebody got to have some, it got to be consequences about it. Okay. It was, like I said, it was a joke. It really did not land in that good.
you, you,
So
you
I mean,
filibustering,
I
man.
don't know. Like I said, for
Not a
me,
filibuster.
You
for me,
filibustering.
I
All
said for
right, all
me, I'm
right.
not accepting his fake apology. You and your wife can have y'all red top tape. Y'all can sit down and talk all y'all want, and it don't make no sense to me. You shouldn't have got your ass up out that seat. You should sit your ass down there and say, "Baby, look, I will talk to Chris later on that day. Okay, I'll talk to Chris later on." But you got up out your seat. Now there's consequences behind it. Now his career is on the line. Her career ain't on the goddamn line. But her career ain't no damn line. I ain't
I don't
seen
think his
Jada
career is
do
on the line because he have his own space. He have his own production company. He can make his own moves. Because of
but
him,
it's
that
still,
movie was.
you
Let me
still
speak.
gonna have to have Hollywood behind you some round the
You
way.
don't have to have Hollywood behind you. Look at Tyler Perry. Whether you like his content or not, he's a billionaire and have his own
And who
studio.
was
And
the
he
first
has
person to go
Hollywood
up there and hug him? Tyler Perry.
Yes, he doesn't have right. He doesn't whether you like his
That's
Yes.
what I'm
content or
talking about.
not.
See,
He
that's what I'm
doesn't.
talking about. What
He doesn't
nobody, that's what
have.
I'm
He
talking about.
doesn't go through
That's what I'm talking
Hollywood.
about. Ain't nobody worrying about. What nobody worrying about Chris.
Right, but the
What
thing
So
about
nobody
it, like
worrying
you were
about
saying, like
Chris.
his career could
Y'all
be on
go
the line.
hug
But
this
like I
man.
said,
How
so let's
he got this black
he
man on
could
live TV.
he could create
Really?
his
Big
own
bank.
spaces.
Big bank
He could,
takes small bank.
there you
yes.
go.
So I wanna
I'm
I
not
wanna
filing for. I mean, to me, I'm not filing for that. I mean, just like I said, I'm like you wouldn't go. Y'all did nobody go check on Chris to see how Chris was doing after being slapped on live TV. Really? You gonna go hug Will?
I
Yeah,
was
Tyler.
trying.
Man,
I was checking for Chris, but he ain't made no statement. So, but but
They say Chris got his ass up out of there and he left.
yes. But thank you for joining us. Cocktails with
yeah,
Love of
that's solid. I mean,
Elisa.
cause right now, cause I mean, everybody keep on saying that. I mean, to me, I'm real on Chris side. It did not land. Like I said, the joke did not land well. And because
Does
I
any
was
of his
looking
jokes
at it,
land well?
I was looking for the bottom and the top. Like I said, it was a good program up to that moment. I can say Wheeler Packard did a good job up to that moment, and that will cause all the problem. Because number one, I'm saying number one, it took a shadow over disability because people with hearing disability, it was a picture about hearing disability. They won the best picture, and that was a good picture. It's about
Yeah.
death, and that's something you don't hear every darn day.
Well,
That's something like that. So you know what I'm saying. So
Okay.
it took a
thank you,
overshadow.
Right
So I'm gonna
on.
say, love you, Candy Shop. Love
thank
you,
you,
Dot Popcorn. Love you, Popcorn.
You too.
I love debating with you, girl. And I love your glasses. And
Thank
my
you.
handsome man.
Thank you
Love
for
you
coming
too.
in and
thank
thank you for your
you.
Thank you,
input.
Yes,
Cocktails with Lovable Lisa. Next time you let me
That's
know what
right,
cocktail you
cocktails with
sipping
yes.
on.
Lovable
She,
Lisa, y'all.
I love when she comes up. We usually talk reality TV.
Yeah.
So, but thank you, thank you for joining. I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
drop
darling.
you
I love
down.
y'all. Good night.
Good
Night.
night. So
Thank
we have
you.
another joiner, Javier.
And I'm gonna drop
acknowledge.
down.
Let me
Nah,
acknowledge.
I don't need you to acknowledge the
Hey,
caveat.
let me acknowledge the super chat. So first of all, I want to
Oh,
shout
okay.
out my husband Real Time Talk 101. Thank you for the super chat. He also provided this mic for me, which I hope is
Real Talk 101. I'm gonna need you to hit that in the Cash App so YouTube don't take 35% of that.
Right.
No, I like it. Right. Thank you, Chi-Town Naja girl, for the super chat. My ma, thank you, Nihar, for the super chat as well. So let's get into it. Javier, what do you have to say, brother, on the topic?
My brother, Javier.
Patty B. I just wrote. Yes. So I know. What are your thoughts?
I ain't gonna be too long, man. But I just feel as if I don't even see why this is controversial.
Jacket or a robe you got on? I'm sorry.
I got a robe on.
Right? Okay. He comfy. Shit.
Yeah. I don't see why it's controversial, honestly. A grown man got up and slapped another grown man on national television in front of millions of people. In what world is this even? In what world are we even debating this? I just don't understand how anybody justifies this. Oh, he insulted his wife. A comedian insulted your wife? A comedian? I mean, a comedian's job is to throw shots at people. It's supposed to walk that thin line between tragedy and humor. And for somehow, if it's okay for you to slap a comedian on stage, then who's safe? If the jester in the court can't make jokes about the king, nobody's safe. And I just cannot believe that anybody is trying to justify what happened. I just can't understand it for the life of me.
The history that they have, the joke was not approved, so he went off the cuff with that, and he knew what he was doing. He targeted them because they went through his material, and that was not part of his sketch or his skit. So he knew what he was doing.
So that justifies being assaulted.
Well, stick to the damn script.
Okay, so as long as if I go into a comedy club and a comedian decides that he wants to pick on or say something about my wife or whatever, then I have every justification to get up and just slap the crap out of him.
So it's not every comedian; it's that comedian because we all know their history. We know how he feels about Will and Jada. We know about 2016. We don't know what happened in between the years from that. We don't know what happened behind the scenes, but he felt the need to bring them up in his skit when it was not a part of his routine yet again.
Okay, so words justify violence is what we're saying.
We're not justifying violence.
Listen, nobody's justifying the violence.
Am I deaf?
Clearly you are.
I must be, because apparently when I say there's no justification for violence and then you say, well, he went off script. So,
hey,
I mean, if that's not an excuse, I don't know what it is.
If he would have stuck to the approved material that was approved by the Academy and their producers, that incident would have never happened. However, he decided that he saw Jada and Will in the front row, and so he wanted to keep digging into their ass, knowing that he was not supposed to have done what he did.
Okay, so Lamb,
if they scanned that thing, they should have stayed their ass at home.
Yeah, Lamb. Let me ask you, Lamb. Am I slow? Am I missing something here? Am I missing something here? Like,
no, I think you're hearing. I feel like you're hearing justifications. I feel like I'm hearing justifications. It's like I understand it's wrong. Dang, who's rocking him?
Come on, man. Really?
I'm hearing that. I understand, but this is why he did it. So I am hearing justifications. I don't think there's a justification. Even his mama didn't feel like it was right. Even he's come back now. He wish he didn't do it. If he could do it all over again, he wouldn't. So I don't feel like I understand why everybody else can't get on that bandwagon with the guy with the horse. And
let's just bring mental health in the situation. We don't know where Will's mindset was at the time, right?
He had what do you call temporary insanity.
So y'all believe he would have had temporary insanity if it was Mike Tyson standing up there or Dave Chappelle standing up there? He would have also had temporary.
They don't have the relationship with Will like that, but Chris does. They haven't been problematic to him, but Chris has.
If Will and Jay got to avoid every celebrity that says something about them, they ain't gonna be able to go no goddamn where. But they dungeon in their house.
Exactly. I'm like, man. Okay, so Chris Rock made some jokes about them in 2016, I believe. When he said that Jada Pinkett wasn't even invited, so how can you boycott something? I don't see how that's insulting at all in the first place. It's like, oh, that was a perfectly legitimate joke to make. And fast forward to 2022, and he said a G.I. Jane joke, and all of a sudden that's grounds on getting up and slapping a man. I just, that's not history. That's like
I think he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
2 incidents. That's not history.
So I want to introduce. Am I still here or am I freezing?
No, you're here.
Okay, so I want to introduce Mims. I do want to get his viewpoint on it as well. Thank you for joining us with the, I guess Chris Rock's face is distorted because he got slapped. So go ahead, Mims, and tell us your point, and then everybody else can do their rebuttals and all of that. Mims, you're muted.
I was thinking about it, listening to you guys in a different way than I thought about it before. It's very premeditated to casually walk over to somebody and backslap them, right? Like that's premeditated. If I'm gonna fight somebody, we are really gonna fight. It won't be something that was like to degrade him. That was definitely disrespecting him. And then rule number 1 in a fight, you don't turn your back on your opponent. Not only did he backhand him, then he walked away casually,
smirking.
And Chris Rock didn't try to hem him up. So to me, I'm thinking, first I was thinking, okay, well, Chris was probably just trying to be appropriate. Now I'm thinking Chris didn't want slap number 2.
I think Chris thought that he was probably coming up there as like a joke or something, like, and he thought that maybe Will was about to come up and mess with him or something like that. And because Will Smith was laughing, and his wife wasn't.
And he saw him laughing, and he saw Will laughing. Like,
this is why I think it was all set up, because before they even got to the Oscars, his tweet said that him and Jada were dressed for violence today.
Hey, I'm not against that theory now.
Or chaos.
It could all be a setup. These are actors, after all. I'm not against that theory at all. But for those people, I just find it weird that we have to have a debate about was he justified or was it? Yeah, I mean, like,
but let's not act like y'all haven't had a fight. I'm pretty sure mostly everybody on here has had a fight.
I can say I've never had a fight on the Oscars.
Well, hold on, but you've had a fight, right?
Never had a fight on the Oscars on national TV.
But you've had a fight.
A fight is a fight. Somebody said something and you was out of character.
I ain't had a fight since 5th grade.
Whether it's right or wrong.
I've had fights as an adult. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know if you call it a fight in my situation. I mean,
I just feel like he knew. I agree with you.
I mean, I'm not sitting here waiting for a fight to occur. I'm trying to end things as fast as possible. So everybody had a fight before. Yeah,
I agree with Mims when he said that he was trying to make him. They trying to make it look bad. You know that the other person. You know Chris is going to be professional. You know Chris wasn't going to get into no squad with you on this stage and national television. So you knew
I don't know about that.
We don't know.
He didn't want that. He didn't want lick number 2.
You think that Will went up there thinking that we could probably get into a tussle right here on national TV? I doubt. I think he knew he could punk him because he knew that Chris was going to be the consummate professional and not swing back.
All Will Smith did was prove that he is, after all his little training for his movies and stuff, he has no fight skills whatsoever. The amount
I think
of
my face
mistakes
says differently.
the amount of mistakes this man made from the moment he got up and walked up to Chris Rock, you can clearly see this man was not ready for any results. The way he slapped Chris Rock, he left his face completely exposed when he walked up to Chris Rock. If Chris Rock would have decided to take the surprise attack, if he felt threatened, Will Smith was wide open. And then he turned his back against somebody he just attacked and walked off. I mean, like, who does this? Nobody trained in any fashion of having a physical altercation would do anything idiotic that way. I just think that Will Smith would have never done that unless he felt as if no threat was coming afterwards.
I still think there's an undercurrent that we're not seeing.
I'm sorry, Nihar. Nihar's comment?
This one that's up.
Yeah, Tiffany Haddish went up to Jada after and told him, "You better suck Will's D from the back." After that.
and then Jada told Will, "Don't you know you ain't about to get none? You already know. You don't let her get you in trouble."
Talk about somebody who ain't funny.
Well, I mean, she did say that he doesn't make her come, and he said that he throws up when he has sex with women. So I don't know.
I bet they didn't do nothing. I bet they don't even screw. I doubt it. So I doubt they don't even screw each other.
They probably gave this man an Oscar because they felt bad for him.
Yeah, because
At
I
this
don't.
point,
Don't do that. Don't do that. King Richard was really good.
I haven't
That
seen
Yes.
it, so I can't really judge it.
That
But
movie
I
It
was
wasn't
was
sure
very
it
good.
was.
it was good. King
I
Richard
saw
was
the
actually
movie.
really good.
The
I
movie
think Will
was
Smith is a
okay.
great actor.
You know who won the night?
Was it an
Beyonce
Oscar?
won the night because she lost that award and nobody even paid attention to the fact that she got up there, performed for the Oscars, and then lost to
Who's
Billie
that?
Eilish.
Oh, you talking about Beyonce?
Beyond, yeah, she came dressed as an Oscar and still lost.
I
And you know what?
forgot the
That stuff
Oscars
like
was
that
a
pisses me
thing.
off. And it also pisses me off that black women only get. See, I like support black women. Black women only get supporting actress. When do black women ever get lead actress? They always get. They throw supporting actress like it's just easy.
Give it about 5-10
it.
years, brother.
It
You're
pisses me
moving
off.
too fast. You're moving too fast. Give it about 5-10 more years. We'll get there.
You should already be there because black women actresses are to me way better than white women actresses. Daola.
Yeah, just like
Angela
Angelou
Bassett.
Lewis. I mean, Angelou
Angela
Ellis that played Serena's mother.
Angela.
How first of all, that's the good sis. That was Sister Girl from Undercover Brother.
That's the movie.
Hey, Princess. Hey, Young Rich.
That's
And
what
that
you
was
chose.
yes, and that was Hippolyta from Lovecraft Country. You okay? So that's,
Right on.
yeah, so that's the good sis. But real quick, as we as I wrap up what I have to say about it, that no matter what right or wrong or how it was, the fuckery of it all, Will did advocate for Ingenue and the two young ladies, because I remember prior to all this happening, I watched The Breakfast Club every day, and Ingenue Ellis was on there, and she said that the movie started pre-panoramic, and then they had to go back 10 months later to film the rest, and then after it was wrapped and later on when it aired, they got bonuses. She didn't get one. She found out that they got bonuses, and she said something. She spoke up about it, and she was saying something like she told her agent, and her agent was like, "Well, this is the standard for." And once again, us black women or people of color, they don't want to give us our just due. So she said something to Will, and Will advocated on her and made sure that since she brought it up, he wanted to make sure the two young ladies that played Venus and Serena got they just due, and they did not get a bonus either. So he spoke up with them, and she said that Will got me my worth. I don't know what the young ladies get, but they did get their bonus. But she was like, Will came up there and advocated for me and made sure that we all, especially me, got my worth. So one thing I can say about that.
I want to push back. I want to push back on what you just said. So
you can push back anyway, but I gotta go.
Oh, I want to.
You got a show to do.
Just on the sense that she said, and I kind of took umbrage with what she said on the Breakfast Club, because Will did advocate for her, and then she gets on another platform. Not only did she want him to advocate for her, she wanted the bonus, but then she also, when he gave a speech, she wanted him to mention the fact that she was the reason that he decided to give her that bonus and the rest. When Will gave his speech, he made a blanket statement saying, I was able to give the entire cast and crew a bonus.
No, he did not. He said, I protected her and the two girls. That's what he said.
That's what he said on the Oscar stage.
But
on the Breakfast Club. Now, I think you're from Philly, right?
I am from Philly.
Okay,
Philly.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it tonight.
He didn't say that into the Oscars.
Yeah, no, he didn't say. Yeah,
he said that
at the Breakfast Club. She specifically said she don't know what he did, but later on she found out what he did. But on the Breakfast Club, she said, I know what he did for me. She got my worth. But when he got the acceptance award, I didn't watch his acceptance award backstage.
She was very specific.
I protected them.
She was very specific on the Breakfast Club that what she wanted Will to do was acknowledge the fact that that bonus came from her, in terms of it wasn't his mind, it wasn't his idea. It was because she wrote that letter and she got it. So I'm saying what the pushback that I want to say is he did not mention that until she broke that story on the Breakfast Club. So now all of this craziness has happened on the Oscar stage, and now you choose to mention it. It's a little
because
PR.
I really feel like I think that's her story to tell. She brought it up, so that's her story to tell.
I'm
It's
talking
not
about
his
on
story to
Will's
tell
aspect.
because I think he don't want to go around boasting like, yeah, I did this, I did that.
That is what he did.
She brought it because she brought it up afterwards. You know what I mean? She brought it up afterwards. She brought it up first. So then, like, all right, well, there's a window because I don't know if she wanted me or if that was her story to tell.
Right.
So.
I right, Miss Ray. I'm gonna be quiet so I don't get Will Smith. I mean, I don't get Chris
Right,
Rock.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? With a cheesesteak. I got the cheesesteak right here on hand. And be like, my cheesesteak and tasty cakes. But no, I'm not saying he's perfect or whatever like that, but watching Angelou in specific spaces too, I see where he say how delicate and how strong she is at the same time. And watching her on the Breakfast Club, and even though he did not was going around talking about it because he was really advocating for the show and not what he was doing behind the scenes for them. But she said, had she not, spoke up for herself, them not knowing, they still have to advocate. We still have to, say when I say we, I say black women or whatever like that, have to advocate themselves. And even her agent didn't do what Will had did. So
Can I say
she needs a
something?
new
Will
agent.
is the producer. So I don't really understand how he's advocating. He's the producer of the film.
Because you negotiate a contract, she got whatever she wanted, and then people got bonuses, and her bonuses wasn't up to par, and that wasn't in the contract. And she was like, "Hold up, people got bonuses. What's up with that? Boom, 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 black, black, black. Hey, 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 where's my coin?" And he was
That's
like,
where you
"Wait,
take
what?
that to
You ain't get your
management and you
coin?"
take that to your team, not with the
She
producer.
said, "Run me my money." Run me my money.
They making it like she went to the producer and was like, "We need more money," and we no. But he's the producer. He's the money giver. So then he negotiating with himself.
His money's going to Dwayne Martin.
I agree, allegedly.
Mims.
That's who got on. Now they had a good time that night, allegedly.
Any other thoughts? Popcorn, what time is your show?
She froze.
Oh wait, no, she.
No, she did. I just saw her blink.
You muted.
What time is your show? Popcorn, stop.
Baby, no, but did you see Liv? Because he had his glasses on, he was like, 10:30.
10:30. Okay.
Yeah, 10:30. We'll talk about Blast 6. Set it off. F. Gary Gray.
Oh, we're going to the Jada theme tonight.
Yeah.
Stop it! I did that before the Oscars. Okay. And it's just
All
not
right.
Jada. It's Kimberly Elise. Queen
So
Latifah.
our two callers that we have, do y'all have any final thoughts before I drop y'all down?
I'm one of the callers. Yeah. I'll just say that y'all, I just don't condone the violence. I don't know much about that other stuff. I don't follow celebrities like that. They're not entertaining to me. I mean, I watch their movies and their TV shows, but outside of that, their personal lives, I just think we should probably stop. Like, I think people's personal lives should be personal, and I don't like the fact that they put their business out there like that. And then when people criticize it or make jokes about it, I mean, I can understand, like, you're human, and at some point it's gonna get to you, but you're a public figure. I mean, that comes with the territory. And I just think that we need to remind everybody that public figures sign up for this job, and we do hold them to a higher standard because they take on the world and they take on all of the comments on Twitter and stuff like that. And when I see a celebrity who forgets that, I do want to hold them accountable because some little boy was watching that, some little girl was watching that, and we don't want to show them that this is the type of behavior that you should display when somebody says something that you don't like. There's better ways.
Why they have parents?
Wait, but that little girl and boy was watching Love and Hip Hop with their mom 2 minutes earlier.
Yeah, this is the sad part, though. I'm not saying that these things, there are other things to worry about, but realistically, we know that it's a lot of parents out there just not raising their kids, and they allow them to look up to these people. And I'm just saying that you can't control everybody and how they raise their kids, but I know that there are people growing up in certain areas where their mama letting them watch this stuff, and these celebrities know that as well. A lot of people ain't raising their kids, and they are the role models. So just being aware of that, I would take that in consideration. As
when you
public figure.
take a job, you don't sign up to be somebody's damn role model in certain situations.
They need to stop giving us damn advice then. They need to stop getting up there and talking about what we should do
Well,
politically.
somebody give advice. You can choose to listen to advice and accept it, or just be like,
either they want to be role models or not. They can't on one hand give people advice on how to live and how to act and behave, and then on the other hand say, "Well, I ain't responsible for people." It's like,
sell a whole
which one
book.
is it?
Oh, I guess.
I agree.
He's talking like Bill Cosby, right?
I was gonna say I agree with Princess's statement though. Here, she said, "No public figures sign up to entertain, not to mentor you and your kids or be put on a pedestal." So they are just there for entertainment, and it's at your discretion on what you choose your child to watch.
Exactly.
So,
and it's up to you. Exactly. Just like my girls, they watch Bad Girls Club. I was like, what the hell? And I block Oxygen.
They get compensated very well for the ridicule.
Yeah, I'm just saying that these celebrities do involve themselves in a lot of people's personal lives. They have foundations and they go out and they actually go to people's schools. Celebrities do a lot of this stuff where they actually are trying to influence the future generations. Let's not pretend as if celebrities don't sign up for this stuff. Celebrities get very involved when it comes to the world of politics.
I didn't know it was a contract for you celebrities to sign to say, hey, I'm gonna sign up for you to be talking about me like this and my family all the time, make jokes about me. Did you? I've never seen a contract like that. Mims, tell me, you seen one? I'm just saying.
It comes with the territory and with the millions, though.
I guarantee you it's against the rules and the Oscars to do physical violence against somebody, and he agreed to go. So that's a violation.
Right. I'm sure that was. I mean, that's just period across the board. You know, Javier. You're right. Yeah.
I mean, I know I've been.
I was just wondering about that sign up thing that you keep saying.
I know I've been foolish today, but in all fairness, there are morality clauses in contracts.
There are. Yeah, and I think like in sports and stuff like that.
Young Rich made a good point. She said, "Do y'all feel the same way now about Candace and
I don't think this has nothing to do with
nothing to do with them.
Monique. Young Rich is hilarious.
Okay, but yeah, I just came up. This was a great conversation.
Candace is asking for that dragon.
If I ever get into a street fight, I don't want nobody with me except popcorn, because I think popcorn.
Really, man.
All right, bye, y'all.
I appreciate y'all having me on.
Bye. Thank you for coming.
Peace.
Bye. All right, y'all. This was a really fun discussion. Yes, we talked about a lot, and y'all know I don't do more than an hour.
I know. I was waiting for the countdown.
So for everybody out there in the chat, this will be a rotating panel next week. I think we'll be on Lamb Levity. My voice just cracked. Lamb Levity too. I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm ready. I will be talking more and not facilitating. I facilitated tonight because it was my channel, but y'all gonna hear my opinion on some shit. Okay.
Right, make sure that Wi-Fi
we're gonna be on the Golden Mike's channel next week. We're gonna be on the Golden Mike. Okay, put the Golden Mike in the chat.
Put the mics in the chat.
Yes, the Golden Mike.
Things a little different over at TFG. All right, you gotta
put it over there.
But make sure you guys going over to Popcorn's channel in the next, I would say 10-15 minutes. She'll be talking about Set It Off. And yeah, any final thoughts from anybody else?
Well, you know what? Thank you for he say she said. It was a great discussion. Listening to everybody's perspective, which are all valid, and I love you guys. And again, I'm from West Philly, and Philly don't like people talking about stay out of our business. But today, I'm just joking, you guys. But today, no, I don't condone violence, but I do see, and just to put things in perspective, I did work in the criminal justice center for 10 years. And that's why sometimes it's a case-by-case situation. And that's why I didn't want to put a whole blanket on one person, because we don't know people's breaking points. People who act like, Q and Lamb are classy guys, but we don't know what somebody could say or what had happened that could make it a breaking point. Not putting that as an excuse or condoning violence, but as humans, we never know in spaces how you're going to react towards something, especially we don't know what the behind the scenes, there's always some smoke and mirrors, there's always a facade going on, and we're not always privy to those information. But I'm glad that we talked about it and we can move on from it. And I see y'all next. I see y'all next week on Lamb's channel. Yes, we're going to set it off with NJ.
So let me just say this. Sorry, Lamar. Hopefully I don't freeze by saying this, but shout out to So Debonair. Make sure you catch me and him tomorrow. Champagne and Things. It will be on my channel here. We're going to talk about Pastor Eggplant and some other hot. So yes, drop the eggplants in the chat.
Yes, okay.
Go ahead, Lamar. I think I was cutting you off.
Oh no, I was just about to say, great show. Had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to these weeks. I'm looking forward to these conversations. This is fun. That's all I have.
And last but not least, Mr. Red Label.
Hey, my directing kicked in. This was fun. Thank you guys so much for having me. I am looking forward to discussing our next topics coming up within the weeks. Prepare for shock because I'm sure it's going to get crazy. Yes. I am here for it. So buckle up and drop the eggplants in the chat for their next topic.
I'm loving the eggplants in the chat. Thank you, Sharon. So I'm going to play my little theme song and we are out. Thank y'all. Hey. But I want to welcome everybody to my channel.